business, whatever it is at all, turning your dreams into financial goals is going to help you successfully achieve that dream. And that is why we're here today, to help you understand how to activate, your financial freedom. So what is financial planning? Simply put, it is using your resources, your financial resources, to meet your financial objectives, whatever they may be. And in having a financial plan, it must be systemic, consistent, and cumulative, in the sense that you must have a workable system. Okay, how am I going to be able to, what am I going to do to be able to grow my funds? Then it must be consistent. It's something that you have to make up your mind to consistently do. And in return, you enjoy cumulative value or cumulative return on that particular plan that you have set your heart to accomplish. Now you might say, do I really need to have a financial plan to achieve, whatever I said I want to achieve? I mean, as I desire, whenever I get money, I just put it, I just do whatever I want to achieve. It's important that you have a financial plan because it helps you better prepare. It helps you better focused, and it helps you more driven. Now, one of the benefits is that it improves your cash flow for a better balance between income and expenses. When you have a plan, somebody cannot just bring something to you and then you buy it on impulse because you have something you're working on. Have we all seen anybody who wants to build a house, who has a project of building a house? You can't sell anything to that man if it doesn't have anything to do with building or acquiring that property that he wants to. Why? Because he has a focus. And secondly, it helps to increase your savings and optimize the growth of your wealth. Wherever you are working, earning an income and saving it, your investment is also, your savings is also earning a certain percentage or return on investment and optimizing the growth of your wealth. So the benefit of having a financial plan is that it increases your savings and it optimizes the growth of your wealth. And then it makes retirement years more comfortable and secure. Anybody who has had a financial plan, up until old age, retires very comfortably. In fact, they decide when they want to retire. I can decide, okay, I want to retire in the next 5 years. I think I've been able to, make something reasonable of my working years. So they decide when they want to retire, and it makes it very comfortable and secure for them. And then the final benefit is that it transfers assets of your estate to your heirs in the most effective way. Now, having acquired all that you have acquired, for most people, they probably, because part of having a financial plan is also, doing your will and your trust and all that, so being able to effectively distribute your wealth among your heirs or your loved ones. So having a financial plan helps you do this in an effective way. Now, you cannot have a financial plan, but you cannot activate your financial freedom if you do not know where you are on the financial life cycle. Like I said earlier, everything in life has a cycle. Animals, humans, finances, business, everything has a cycle. It has a peak, it has a time when it goes really high, and it has a time when it begins to come down. So you must identify where you are on a financial life cycle. It's very important. Now, the first stage is a young and a single, and this is the age range between 18 and 25. Now, for this person, he probably just graduated from school, he has done his service, and he probably got his first job. Here, his income exceeds his expenditure because he's making a lot more money than what he actually spends, probably because he's not paying bills. He still lives with his parents, he eats free food, they take care of the bills. He's not taking care of anyone. He has no responsibility or liabilities at this age. And the tendency for them, the key activity for them here is to spend. So they are big spenders. So our recommendation at this point is for this age to begin to invest. This is where you begin to think about investing for the future. The next stage is the just married. From 26 to 35, you decide, okay, I want to start building my family. I think I'm up to age now. I want to start, having my own family. At this point, it's called the accumulation stage because they begin to acquire assets. Now, somebody who now wants to begin to build a family has to consider paying rent, getting his own house, or probably getting his own property, furnishing it, buying his own car. He's paying bills, DSTV, light bill. He's spoiling his car. The responsibility at this point begins to increase. And it's called asset acquisition stage. But at this point, we still advise that you invest. Invest, invest, invest. Now, the third stage is the proud parents. You now begin to have kids. We all know that education is not cheap at all. So, for you to actually really give your children the best form of education, you need to plan for it. You need to prepare. It doesn't just fall on you. It doesn't come to you overnight. And they give you time to really prepare. Yes. So you have to take advantage and prepare for them. So this point is called the family maintenance, because here your income is lower than your expenditure, because you tend to spend more at this stage than you actually really earn. So for people who have started investing, it's easy for them to cushion the effect of, so what they will face when, that time comes. So this stage is called the family maintenance, and what we advise is that you protect and you preserve your investment. You don't do risky investments. You do investment that is easily accessible so that you can meet your goals. And then if you're planning for long-term goals, you do long-term, put them in, investments that will yield long-term returns so that you can achieve that goal in the long run. And then the final stage is the planning and retirement stage. At this stage, most people have actually really grown in their career ladder. Probably they've gotten to the highest peak in their career. Their children have left home. They're no longer training anybody. And they've been able to acquire all those assets over the years. At this stage, for people who didn't have a financial plan, who didn't have access to this information or prepare for the future, the tendency that they will rely on others. This is where you begin to say, oh, send me money. Oh, I need to go to the hospital. I need to do this. You need to train your younger ones. You need to do this. You need to do that. They depend on others to be able to, survive. But for somebody who has gone through the financial life cycle properly in the way he should, accomplish it, he'll even have more than enough to distribute and transfer his wealth to his loved ones and his heirs. So that is why it's important for you to identify where you are on the financial life cycle and begin to make plans for the next step. Now, having known where you are, the next thing is to have a financial plan. In achieving your financial plan, there are 5 steps. And the first one is to identify and set your goals. You must understand that in setting your goals, like I said earlier, you can turn your dreams into goals to achieve them. And in setting your goals, your goals must be SMART. It must be specific, measurable, achievable, it must be realistic, and above all, it must be time bound. Now, in goal setting, we have the short-term goals, the medium-term goals, and the long-term goals. So what do you intend to achieve between now and the next 2 years? We call that short-term goals. What do you intend to achieve between the next 3 to 5 years? And medium-term goals. And from 5 years and above, we call that long-term goals. So you must actually always look at what it is you want to achieve, and you must tie it to the right investment vehicle to help you meet and achieve that goal that you have set your mind on. For instance, let me give you an example. Say I want to pay my rent 1 year, in the next 1 year. I begin to prepare. So I have to put that investment, I have to do my savings or have my plans, in investment that I can access within the next 1 year, so that when time comes, I don't have challenge in accomplishing that particular goal. Or say I want to send my child to Harvard in 10 years, I begin to prepare now. So I don't, my approach is going to be different because now my goal is long-term. So once you're able to identify your goals and set them, the next step is to review your personal and financial status. This is just the balance sheet. It's what you earn and what you owe, what you spend. So what comes in and what goes out. And in reviewing your financial status will determine your next level in life. It's very important that you look at this. And I'm going to talk about it in the preceding slides. So you must check your flow pattern, understand what comes in and what goes out. What do you earn? What are your sources of income? Put it together. How much do you spend? How much leaves you? And how much are you able to put aside, to be able to accomplish or save to be able to accomplish your goals, your future goals, whatever they may be. Now, having identified that, the next thing is to develop a financial plan. Now, like I said earlier, it's very easy. You have to look at your risk appetite and look at the time horizon. Do I have appetite for risk? Am I risk adverse? I don't like to take any risky investment. Like in 2008, when we had our issues in the stock market, A lot of people lost so much funds. So because of it, people had issues. So today, if you keep talking about the stock market, some people will be like, I really don't want to even do anything that would, jeopardize my funds or my income. So you have to understand what your risk appetites are, or what your risk appetite is, and the time horizon. Because if you're looking at a long-term investment, stock market is still a viable place for you to put your funds in, not in your savings account. And if you're looking at your medium term, the funds that are easily accessible are places where you're recommended to put your funds. So you must develop a financial plan, know what you want to do based on your risk appetite and time horizon you have to run that particular investment. Haven't done that, the next thing is to implement your strategy. Take action. Look for what plans are available and begin to do. Okay, we have a couple of investment options in Investment One. We have our ZSafe on our Zinc platform. We have our mutual funds. So having identified, drawn up your financial plan, the next thing is for you to now begin to implement a strategy to meet your objectives, whatever they may be. And then the last step is to monitor and review your investment. Review your plans with your advisor when your circumstances change. Salaries might improve, your income might increase. You have to review you have to monitor your investment and review it constantly, because that way it just means that you're going to be improving the quality of life you're going to be living in the future based on that decision. Now, this is where the sample budget comes in. Scenario one, this is somebody who doesn't have any idea of financial planning at all. He doesn't know anything about saving or investing. All he knows is that he earns the salary and uses it to sustain himself for that whole month, waiting for the next time he receives his next salary. Now, his total income is 200,000. His outflow includes his rent. He pays 40. Domestic expense, that is food, data, airtime, and other things, that DSTV, your bill, light bill, things that you actually really need to have a comfortable life. He spends about 60,000 on that. Transportation, whether he's fueling his car or he's going public transport, he's spending 20,000. And then impulse expense, he decides that, somebody brings something to maybe a hairpiece, and like, oh my goodness, I love this weave on, I want it, I love this wig, and then it's not something you have planned for, you just decide to pay for it. That is called impulse expense, something that you just buy on impulse. You don't prepare, you don't plan to own those things, and they're not things that you actually really need in the interim. There are things that you can do without, but because for some reason, you just decide to just buy those things. So he spends 30,000 on that. And then you have entertainment. Hangs out with his friends, Ashrebi, maybe somebody's having a celebration, we need to buy Ashrebi, we need to have a party, there's thank God it's Friday, we need to hang out. He spends 50,000 on that. Now, at the end of the day, he has exceeded his 200,000. Most times I've seen some people saying, please loan me, I'll give you next one when I'm paid a salary. So he doesn't have anything set aside for investing. And you must understand that if you do not save for the future, for today, you're already eating into it. If you don't have anything to save for today, you're already eating into that future. So it's important that you must put investing into perspective. Okay. So looking at the second scenario, with more information, he's more enlightened on how to, run his investment. His income hasn't changed. He's still earning 200,000 in his income. His rent, domestic expenses, transportation has not changed. It remains the same, because those are basic needs. You cannot say, okay, today I will not, I'll reduce how much I'll pay for transport. You can't determine that. They are stationary. Now, but what he did was he reduced his impulse expense from 30 to 15,000. It still didn't mean that he stopped buying things that he liked. He bought things that he liked, but the effect or whatever amount he put into it was greatly reduced. And then he still had entertainment. He still was there for friends. I still bought my friends Ashrebi. I still hung out. But where he would have spent 50,000, he spent 25,000 naira. So he's able to save 40,000 naira to invest. Because now the idea is not so much for how much you would have, how much interest you're going to earn on this fund. It is how much you have been able to save, which you would have ordinarily spent, by running a particular investment. Now, looking at the analysis now, scenario one, for the whole year, he spent 960,000 on impulse buying and entertainment in a year. But looking at having received information like most of us are receiving today, the scenario has changed. The income from 960, what he's actually spent was 480. That means he was able to save an excess of 480,000. Now the idea is his lifestyle did not change. He still maintained his lifestyle, but he has something to save for the future, which is very important. So you must decide whether you want to invest or whether you want to consume your funds. Now, this is where we now talk about the early start principle. Now we're looking at this scenario. There are 3 people who want to run an investment for 4 years. And depending on the level where you are or how much you think you can actually really save, will determine what you will earn in the future. Now, using our ZSave on our Zing platform, there's a 4% return on compound, that compounds monthly on your particular investment. And then these 3 people, Bayo, Nkechi, and Ibrahim, decided that, okay, they wanted to start in January 2020 to begin to save for the next 10 years. So they're looking at what they would, for the next 4 years. They're looking at what they will earn in the next 4 years. Well, at December 2023, how much would I have been able to save to, achieve, whatever goal it is that I want to achieve at that time. Maybe they want to pay for it, start a business, or maybe they want to, pay for a property or whatever it is they want to achieve. They will be able to now decide. Now, using the 4% interest rate, one saves 5,000, the other one saves 10, the other one saves 40. And the person with 5,000 earns on 4%, 265,000. Second person earns 531, and the other one of 2.1 million naira. Now, these are small amounts of money that are invested at your convenience, and they will not alter your lifestyle. It doesn't mean that because you want to save the property, then you have to drink garri or you have to stress yourself. You have to live your best life yet and still have savings for investment. So that is what the early start principle does for you. You live well, you live good, you're comfortable, but yet you still have the future and your future goals and aspirations in sight. And it helps also to unlock that freedom, financial freedom that a lot of us are looking at achieving. Now, the next one is the power of compounding interest. For starting early helps, and it helps also save conveniently. Now, we're looking at this scenario of still Bayo, Nkechi, and Ibrahim. Now, they're looking at saving for 10 years. Like I said earlier, if you're running an investment for the short term, you have to put them in funds where you can easily, in investments where you can easily have access to your funds when you need them. And then if you're looking at 10 years, let's say from 5 years and above is long term. So you have to be able to put your investments in places where it will be hedged against inflation so that you enjoy, better returns and better value on your funds. So you're looking at they all said that the first person started in 2020. They decided they want to save for the next 10 years. So that's when they want to retire, and they want to retire well. Now, Bayo is saving 31,180 naira consistently for 10 years at 10% rate. Now, his total contribution in that period is about 3.7 million. Interest earned about 2.6. Value as at 2030 will be 6.4 on his investment, which has gradually grown, didn't alter his lifestyle, and has enjoyed the power of compounding interest to bring his value to 6.4 at 2020. So whatever it is that he wanted to achieve, that would have cost him maybe 1 million or 2 million this year. In the next 10 years, he's successfully able to accomplish that desire because he had started early and enjoyed the power of compounding interest. Now, for Nkechi, who decides that, okay, I have 5 more years to my retirement too, I think I should better start preparing now. In 2025, she decides, okay, she wants to start, and she also wants to earn 6 million, like Bayo. Here, she has to contribute, or she has to save 80,700 consistently for 5 years. Still at the same 10%. She's going to contribute much more. She's going to earn much less, but the value of her investment will still come to 6.3 million in the next 10 years. And then for Ibrahim, Who has only one more year to go? Oh God, I'm retiring next year. What am I going to do with myself? What am I going to do? For him to have 6 million, he has to consistently save 535,000 consistently. So isn't it wise? Wouldn't he would contribute a lot more? He will contribute 6.5 million, and an interest of about 330 something thousand to get 6.8 million. So you can see that the person who is at an advantage was Bayo, who started early. So it's important that you start early and you enjoy the power of compounding interest. Because when you keep investing, your funds keep adding up. Whatever principal and interest you have earned at the end of this period is accumulated and starts as a new principal in the following year. So, your principal keeps growing, while you just keep doing your contribution, your principal keeps growing and your interest keeps increasing as well. So you see, for you to unlock that financial freedom, you have to start early and you have to enjoy the power of compounding interest. Now, it's important that you're able to match your goals with the right investment options. Like I said earlier, there are short-term goals, there are medium-term goals, there are long-term goals. Now, and it depends on the time horizon, the time frame, and your risk appetite. For people who don't like taking risk at all, who are risk averse, they don't like taking anything risky, please just give me my principal and the small interest I've earned as at whenever I need it. I don't want any stories that this happened and that happened and the market. I don't want stories. Just leave me the way I am. Those people are risk averse. They don't like to take risks. Now, for them, best investment options are the money market fund, guaranteed income funds, fixed deposit savings accounts in the bank. For the next level, medium risk, we have government and corporate bonds, we have balanced mutual funds, and then for very high risk, there's growth mutual funds, equities, to mention the like. So it's important that you understand where you are on the financial life cycle. Number one, know how long you want to run your investment, how long is your goal, when do you intend to achieve it, what's your risk appetite. And based on this, you're able to now successfully match your goals with your investment options. Let me give an example. For instance, somebody who wants to pay a house rent, say in next 1 year, you won't advise the person to buy stocks, to go into equities. It's a no-no. You rather put them in a money market investment or in fixed deposit or in savings account where you can easily get your money when the time comes. And then for somebody who wants to now say maybe send his child to Harvard, you cannot put the money in a savings account, kiddie savings account. It will not work. Why? The value of the effect of inflation will erode the value of that investment as at the time you need to run that particular investment. Now, savings account gives you about 1.25% per annum. So imagine that I'm saving money to send my child in 10 years at 1.25% per annum with an inflation rate of over 13%. That means I've eroded over 130% of value of my investment. So there's no way I can achieve that dream when the time is near. So you must understand that you have to put your investment in the right vehicle. You're looking at long term, look at stock market, look at real estate, look at growth mutual funds. You're looking at the short term, you look at your money market fund, you look at our Zinc platform, where we have different, plans for you on that platform, for you to take advantage of. Depending on whatever thing you're looking at short term, you're looking at long term, you're looking at medium term, they're all available for you on that platform. Our mutual funds are there, our trading is there. There's nothing that you want when it comes to, the financial market space that is not available on that platform. So you must understand, this to have an effective, plan and to be able to be financially free as well. Now, having said that, there are key considerations when you're having a plan. Number one is you must know how much you need. How much do I need to accomplish this thing in the next 5 years? For instance, maybe I want to pay school fees in 5 years to the university. And I know that currently is about $20,000 today. I have to put into consideration inflation rate at that time. So I have an idea of how much I'm going to be paying. Probably I'm going to be looking at in the next 5 years between $80,000 to $100,000 to achieve that goal. So you must be able to know how much you will need to accomplish that goal so that you can effectively plan towards that. Then you have to also consider when you will need it. That's your time horizon, time frame. When exactly am I going to need it? Is it in the next 2 years or 3 or 4 or 5 years or 10 years? You must have that at the back of your mind. And then you must know what your financial position is today. Where am I today in my finances? That will help you, reconsider certain things, restructure yourself, and then be able to now begin to put that plan into motion to achieve that dream or that goal. Now, having done that, can you do without your wants? There are things that sometimes you just want something, we just go ahead and buy it. Oh, this is the latest iPhone. Oh, I love it. I go and buy it. But you have something that is as effective and can perform what that a gadget is performing for you. But just because it's in vogue and it's the latest, you want to achieve, acquire it. Or, oh, this is the latest car, or this is the latest whatever. You just want to do it because it's the latest. Do you really need it? You have to put into perspective that question. If it's something you don't think you need, or it's just what you want, then you can easily overlook it and get the things that you need and put the other things into your investment. And then how can you bridge the gap? You have to know how to bridge the gap. If you feel like, oh God, I'm not earning enough money to what I want to accomplish in the future, then you have to begin to bridge the gap. Consider the kind of investments that you want to do. Consider the kind of other incomes that you want to be able to have, to be able to cushion the effects that you might have in the future or that you're experiencing today. So you have to have that at the back of your mind. Now, having said that, they said the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. But if you didn't do it then, if you didn't have the opportunity, the next best time to start it is now. Take advantage of this information that you're receiving today and set yourself ablaze, set yourself free to achieve and accomplish that financial goal that you have set your heart to accomplish. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you so much, Miriam. Thank you very, very much for breaking it down for us, for your pointers, for your tips, for the knowledge that you've helped us to retain and reacquire. I really appreciate that. I'm sure the other attendees will appreciate that as well. So a couple of questions have popped up that I can answer, but I would like for you to answer one of them. So it goes, why is the yield on VGIF higher than most other mutual funds like Abacus?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so currently for the Vantage Guaranteed Income Fund, it's as the name implies, it's a guaranteed income fund. It's a mutual fund that has a guaranteed interest rate. Unlike the Abacus money market fund rate that fluctuates, money market funds don't have stable interest rates, because they are benchmarked against treasury bills, commercial papers, bankers' acceptances, and what's available in the financial market. So, and we know that treasury bills currently is not yielding its best. It's not at its best right now. So the yield is going to affect the money market rate, as against the Vantage Guaranteed Income, which is already a guaranteed rate and is benchmarked against standard deposit facility rates. For this money market, for the Vantage Guaranteed Income Fund, the rate is changed only twice a year, at the end of June and January. And that is if there's a need to, if there's a change in the in the CBN policies, if there's a reduction in the MPR rate, it has an effect on the rate of that particular investment. So currently, we're running, it's currently at 7.5, and it was affected sometime in July. And that's because the CBN policy rate had a reduction in rate, and that's why it was affected. But the rate is guaranteed. It doesn't fluctuate like the money market. It doesn't change. Does that answer your question?
I'm sure that answer is very satisfactory. Thank you very much, Miriam. For the person who's asking, sorry, I just saw a question now on VD. Oh, okay. So the person is saying, do we get the slides? And since MPR has been revised, would VGIF rate change? Miriam just mentioned to us now that the rate is mirrored against the standing deposit facility, which is a CBN imposed rate. And CBN is at liberty to change whenever the inflation rate changes, or whenever the MPR rates change. So yes, now that there's been a change, obviously the Vantage Guaranteed Income Fund rate will also mirror that change. So I hope that answers your question.
It will mirror, but it's not taking effect now. It's
Okay.
not taking effect now at all till the next for the next 6 months. So we should be looking at sometime next year.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So for the person asking how to invest with the on the Vantage Dollar Fund, all you need to do is go to our website, www.investment-one.com. I'll take that again, www.investment-one.com. You can go there, download a form, fill and submit, and then the customer care team will take care of the rest. You get a notification. It's as simple as ABC. Otherwise, you can get a form sent to you if you send us your email address. To the form, you can fill, attach your KYC documentation, which is a passport photograph, a valid means of ID, a utility bill which shows your proof of address that's not older than 3 months, and we'll review and get back to you once the account has been created, and then you can start to fund the account. Somebody was asking, just a moment, please. I'm trying to go through the questions. Okay, so yeah, somebody asked that he or she wants to know the difference between Abacus and ZSave. So ZSave is a wallet, an e-wallet on our Zing application. We have an application called the Zing. For iOS and Android users, you can go to your store, and then you just download, and from there you can invest in or start funding. So the ZSave is basically an e-wallet. You can save money, you can pay your bills, your utilities, you can do almost anything on the ZSave app, on the Zing app. So somebody asked, can compounding work in equities in a period of, I think the person wants to write, I don't know, stagnation and constant local currency devaluation like we have in Nigeria presently? So let me attempt that question. So yes, to a certain extent, you can actually compound your interest by way of dividend payouts. So you've bought X amount of shares, and you get your dividend payouts. If, for example, you do not sell down on your shares, yes, you can actually compound, because from there, another dividend payout comes in, you have your monies, and the money keeps multiplying, basically. That's that. Somebody asked, what determines the balanced fund rate of returns? Miriam, do you want to attempt that, please?
What determines the
balanced fund rate of returns?
Okay, so for our Vantage Balance Fund, as the name implies, it's balanced, meaning that there are various investment vehicles that our fund takes advantage of. We have the real estate, we have the fixed income, we have equities. So for this particular fund, there's no rate, there's no fixed rate to that fund. We can only give you returns year to date on that particular investment, but we cannot tell you that at the end of the period, this is what you're going to earn as return on your investment. Why? Because of the exposure of that fund to equities. Now, like we all know, equities can fluctuate. It might come very high and you might make a lot of returns, and it can also go down low and might also have an effect on your principal. So with that, you cannot actually state or clearly say, okay, we're going to give you 10% or 2.5%. No, we can't do that. The beautiful thing is that when the fund returns, whatever the fund returns is what you will earn. If it returns excessively, you will also earn good returns on the investment of that particular fund.
Thanks, Miriam. So somebody's asking, I have an Abacus mutual fund, but I don't put in monthly contributions. I'd rather put in bulk sums as they come. Does this affect the interest earned?
It doesn't necessarily affect it. The only thing is that when you consistently invest, you naturally just grow your fund on its own. So you don't actually really need to wait until you have the bulk fund to put in before your principal keeps increasing. Now, doing it consistently just gives an opportunity to take advantage of the opportunities in the market at that particular time. It still doesn't mean that if you put in your bulk fund, you will not still get the same return. You will just, your principal will just ordinarily just grow more. just begin to compound and expand more. That's just the benefit of that. So with the constant payment, you take advantage of the opportunities available in the market constantly. But with doing it in bulk, you just do it in bulk and just get the interest for the period. So you can actually really say, okay, I have $1 million today. Next month I want to add another 1 million, or next 6 months I want to add another 1 million. I have 2 million. But if I tell myself I want to be doing 20K every month, or 40,000 every month, before the next 6 months, you know how much I would have acquired as principal on my, an additional principal on my fund, plus the bulk interest that would have come. So you are able to grow your funds better and much more at ease when you have constant contributions than when you just do one-off. Thank you.
Thank you. So what are the risks associated with VGIF?
VGIF has no risk. It's a guaranteed return, guaranteed. The rates are guaranteed. So it has no risk.
Okay, so for our fellow attendees, because I'm also somebody who is learning, I'd like to inform all of us that once you download the Zing app, a number of our mutual funds can actually be found there. You can actually transact from the Zing app, so because you might not be able to, for some funny reason, navigate the website, or you might not necessarily want to come out of your house because of the ongoing pandemic. You can always access your funds. If you want to subscribe, if you want to fund, you can do all of that via the Zing app. So all you need to do is download, and then you're good to go. So somebody asked, Miriam, I already invested. How do I subscribe in VDF in view of the policy on dollar saving now from CBN?
Okay, there are so many options that we're putting in place, to help make transactions easier for our clients. We're looking at having a wallet where you can pay your Naira, and then we'll change it to dollars based on the rates prevailing, whatever prevailing rate. That is still we're still looking at that, pending when we're able to finalize on it.
Okay, somebody's asking why the interest rate of VGIF is higher than other mutual funds. So it's not necessarily higher. It's basically a reflection of the asset classes in which the monies are invested in. VGIF has a number of bonds that we've invested in, which could speak to the competitive rates that out. Abacus used to do, really high before, but because of a reflection of what's happening in the economy and all of that, we've had a downward review of rates. However, there's always, as with investments, a tendency for an upturn in returns. So for the person asking, well, it just happened, that the rate is higher because of the asset classes. There's really no magic, or there's no technicality, applied to the high rate, quote and unquote. Somebody's asking, what investment can you suggest for an investor with 15 years to retirement, with a salary of 95,000, 2 children, and a wife? Miriam, the expert. I'd like you to answer that question.
Okay. Salary is how much?
95.
95.
There's 2 children, there's a wife.
A wife 15, and 2 children?
Yes, at 15 years to retirement.
And it has 15 years to retire?
Yes.
Okay, so, depending on, but he didn't state his risk appetite, if he has an appetite for risk. But looking at using my own experience, on my own expertise, we'll obviously invest it into stock market, because that's where you're going to get the maximum return on your investment at that time. So we should, okay, you want to say something?
No. Once you finish, okay. I just wanted to say that for those asking for the slides, there'll be a recorded video sent out to everybody, so that you can, replay at your own convenience the content of the webinar.
So, I'm continuing what I was talking about. So I would advise that he puts a portion of the funds in the equities, and a little bit into a fixed income investment. That way, it's just to cushion the effect, of the pushing the effect of his funds as at the point when he will need that. Advisably also, we have the Vantage Balance Fund that has all the asset classes embedded in it. We have real estate, we have fixed income, we have equities. So if he's looking at doing it as a fund, then we can advise the Vantage Dollar Fund or the Vantage Equity Income Fund. But if he's looking at doing it on his own, then can go into the stock market space.
Okay.
Next week.
Somebody's asking how long it'll take to redeem funds when you need it. I want to assume that we're talking about the Vantage Guaranteed Income Fund. We're talking about the Abacus. So it takes 2 working days to get your account, your registered bank account credited. Where does my deposit in ZSave go, and how secure is my money? You obviously haven't heard about Investment One. So your deposit in ZSave will go to wherever it is that you want it to go, depending on the investment that you're subscribing to. Are you subscribing to Abacus? If you go to Abacus, you will go into your Abacus investment account. If it's VGIF, you go into your VGIF investment account. If it's your Z plan, same goes. So if you deposit in ZSave, what exactly are you using the money for? Are you using it for an investment? Are you using it for your Z plan program? So basically that's where it goes, and your money is safe. You can check us out online. We have a very, very clean track record. Where we've been in existence since 2008, and you can just Google us. I'm not going to say more than that. You can Google us. You can look at our directors. You can look at even our numbers. Everything is online for you to look at. Somebody's asking, I'm already on money market Abacus investment. Please, is it possible to migrate to other form of investment? Miriam, do you want to take that, or should I?
You can go ahead.
Okay, so it depends on what it is that you want to do. What you mean by migrating? Do you mean diversifying? In which case it means you want to keep your money market investment and you want to start something fresh, or do you want to move your funds from your Abacus into something else? That's very easy. Just send an email to our customer care team at customercare@investment-one.com. I'll take that again. customercare@investment-one.com. So just send it to the team and they will be able to handle it. Yes, I've already answered this question. Can we have a presentation slide? Yes, you have the recording sent to your email addresses. Yeah, so that's basically all, guys. I would like to say a very, very big thank you to everyone for taking time out of their busy schedule to attend the webinar. I would like to say a very big thank you to Miriam for your time, for your knowledge. We really appreciate it. Like I mentioned earlier on, we're going to be sending the recording to your email addresses. And if you need to reach out to us, you can do so by calling the numbers on the screen. I think you should be able to see them. Well, you can send us a message on WhatsApp, 0812-992-1188. We're on Instagram @Zingits. We're on Facebook as well. Just send us an email, give us a call, and we'll be here to attend to your needs, because the essence of Investment One is to help you guys achieve your investment goals. So a very, very big thank you to everyone. God bless you. Have a good day ahead. Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you very much, Ivy.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.